NASA and anybody. And it's no surprise to me because he's always done genius things throughout our childhood. Come on up, Joe. And he took this at the last minute. He is Dr. Reverend Louis Newby. He's been a pastor for 7 years. Pastor John Rose is he's a pastor, and he's also, I guess you could say a disc jockey. Lex Radio. I have another brother. I like to add a little brother Terry Jenkins, Pastor Terry Jenkins, and his wife Dorothy Jenkins.
Awesome. Let's give Brother Jeremiah another round of applause for the office of give a round of applause for our panel we have up here. I was writing down these questions, and I really, as the questions were coming, I was taking some of the questions from the film also because I like to get the people, I like to hear the point of view of the people on the film, but I would definitely love to hear the point of view of the panel and just really just get into that discussion because some of those, it was one of those films where, you know, I probably heard some of you all talking too, and you kind of want to discuss some things with your neighbor also, with some things that were opened up in the film. But the first question that was asked on the film is, do you feel America has made progress after King? And I think that was a pretty vast question when we talk about progress because there's lots of levels to progress when we talk about economics, education, segregation, a lot of different things when we talk about progress. So I want to just open it up to the panel and ask you all, do you feel that America has made progress after King? We can start at the end.
And the divide, you know, I'm a former Metro employee, worked very closely with Mayor Fisher and, you know, stepped away in 2019 because as a Metro employee, my voice was stifled. And it was things that I needed to say and stuff that I wanted to talk about. And so I started to talk about the systematic racism and all that kind of stuff. And if you're a government employee talking about that kind of stuff, you're getting rolled up on a regular basis. And I didn't mind, but I think as a nation, fear has paralyzed our voices, and people do not want to speak truth to power because they might lose something or whatever. And you know, says not be quiet. I always tell people, you know, my 25th year of sobriety, and I slept on a mattress in the crack house. So when you talk about taking stuff from me, I'm kind of like, I ain't have a lot anyway, you know. And so I wasn't fearful. And so when I started to speak up, I made some people mad. I made some people happy. And I stepped away from Metro government in 2019 with seed money from the Keenan Foundation. And you know, Betty Keenan's in this room, and she's been very, very supportive of the work that I've done. And so I believe in progress, but I think we could do better, and better starts with us. And it's a level of accountability for everybody in our communities. And what I said is, accountability is not a personal attack. So when you're holding people accountable, and you got to hold the powers to be accountable. I don't play political games. Jeremiah was at my 60th birthday party. The mayor sent somebody, a lot of politicians were in there, and I stood up with my son and said, you will not play political games with the lives of young people.
In society, I believe that there's been very little progress. And I speak in terms of the institutionalized racism. A lot of things we don't see, but we see the end result after it happens. I speak to family members, friends who right now, today, experience the institutionalized racism where my children, one or two of my children, are downgraded or patronized because of the situations that they go through and because they raise their voice and they're not afraid to speak up. The question they get, are you okay? Is something wrong with you? can we help you out with your situation? No, nothing's wrong with them. They're just calling it the way it is.
Yes.
And so until we address the elephant in the room, I don't think that the change will be massive. And so my response again, very little. And again, just as Ms. Moore was saying, your voice is powerful. And we have to be not afraid of speaking up, of calling things out on the carpet as we see it, for the sake of our jobs.
I take our society very seriously. I think we have a lot of problems in our country, in our world. And as a young person, I used to hear Dr. King speak over the radio. And I would run to the radio or the television to watch Dr. King. And in 1964, Dr. King came to Kentucky. And he marched up the Capitol Avenue. I lived here in Lexington, and I heard he was coming, so I got in my car and I ran to Frankfurt to march with him. As you can see, that his picture here, and I did not take this picture. A lot of folks said, "Oh, you know you took that picture." No, I didn't take that picture. Didn't know the picture was going to be taken. I was pastoring in Frankfurt at the time, shortly after this picture was taken. And I think what happened was that we were marching up the Capitol Avenue, 10,000 folks. And I think that two ladies were running behind me, and I was running behind Dr. King, and they slammed in the back of me, and I slammed in the back of Dr. King. Dr. King turned around and said, "Are you folding?" And I said, "You're the first to know." Before that time, I tried my best to integrate us. I wrote letters down in the South. Every governor, I sent them a letter trying to tell them that they're doing wrong. I got no response, but I did write it. And coming back from that, I could tell you all day a lot of stuff that I went through, but I know that I can't do that. But I want to say this, that even though that I wrote the letters to the governors, I still continue to fight for good relationship between blacks and whites.
Amen.
Every year they would have this kind of meeting here in Lexington, and we'll go down to the Lexington there and watch service there. And one day that my wife and I was coming out from that service, a white man tapped me on my shoulder, and I turned around. And he said to me, "Are you blacks angry with us whites?" I thought about it for a moment before I spoke, and I said, "No, we're not angry with the white folks. We just like for the white folks to scoot over and let us drive some too." Some service. She walked over and got on the telephone. I knew what she was calling. She called the police. And I watched the door. Police came in, and I went out the back door, down the alley, to get away from them. I could talk all day long, tell you about my experiences in trying to motivate and get our people to come together. Like I said, this gentleman spoke to me, and I thought about it for a while, because I am a country boy. My parents were sharecroppers, and we lived on farms that were owned by white people. Therefore, I felt very close to them because they helped us in our lives. And so, therefore, I really don't have any issues against a white person. I have issues against how we are treated.
That's right.
And I think that we are human beings just like you are, or they are, and we should be treated alike.
And I come to find out that growing up in the projects, that whether you're white or whether you're black, you're a product. And I became a product. But I realized that after seeing
Stated over here, and my sister, we have made some progress. Some. But we all need to do better. We need more. And he said that he was a country boy, and I praise God because I'm a country girl. I grew up in the country. And the things that I remember are just what he said. In the little community of Mortonsville, Kentucky, that I grew up in, was farming. Let me tell you what, though, I remember as a child, we had all of the blacks and the whites, they worked together. And I never will forget, there was a lady, we called her Aunt Mackie. And she would come, and she was an older black lady, and she wore a big apron. And she would come up to the farm, and she had, I never will forget, pockets full of oatmeal cookies. Those were the best oatmeal cookies that I've ever had. I remember her pulling, reaching her little hand in that pocket and pulling them out. And we would all eat those cookies together. We would go on down the road to Jesse B. Wilson, and he would come up, and he would talk to my grandparents.
Brother John Marone for having this discussion, for having this documentary, and I want to just say God bless you all, and just like how Dr. King, what he wanted, his dream was for us all to be equal and unified, and that's what the basis of this whole discussion was, for us to be equal and us to be unified, just come together as a community, because that's how we're going to get to where Dr. King wanted us to be at. Us coming together as a community and getting there. Thank you all. And thank y'all.
We just done the first showing of After King 23 here in Lexington, Kentucky. And we're getting ready for the second showing. It's about to be an awesome experience. Very grateful and thankful for the people that came out. This is historical just to be here at the Lyric Theater to do something like this. Be on the lookout for a Muhammad Ali film next month, and a Muhammad Ali song next month as well. Hopefully get it all done, and hope people can come out. I heard you got a lot of followers, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ain't got involved, you slipping. So you need to get involved. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna give me some, and you got to get involved. You feel me? So I'll talk to y'all later.
Haha.